The scar on Sophia Zhang's neck is small, 2 puncture marks, faded to silver, barely visible. She got it 3 months ago during what she thought was a mugging. Some guy attacked her in a parking garage, bit her neck before she managed to fight him off with her keys and run. She filed a police report, got a tetanus shot, moved on with her life. Except she hasn't moved on. Not really. Because ever since that night, Sophia has been experiencing something she can't explain. Dreams of a man she's never met. Feelings that aren't hers. Sudden urges to go to places she has no reason to visit. And worst of all, a constant awareness of someone else's presence, like a ghost living in the back of her mind. She's tried therapy, tried meditation, tried convincing herself it's just PTSD from the attack. But deep down, Sophia knows something is wrong. Something that has nothing to do with trauma and everything to do with those 2 marks on her neck. Tonight, the pull is stronger than ever. Sophia is at a coffee shop near her apartment in Seattle, trying to grade essays for her 9th grade English class. But she can't concentrate. Can't focus on anything except the overwhelming compulsion to leave. To go somewhere. To find him. Sophia looks up from her papers and sees him standing in the doorway of the coffee shop. The man from her dreams. Tall, dark-haired, with sharp features and eyes that pin her in place from across the room. He's dressed in expensive clothes, moves with predatory grace, and is staring at her like she's the only person in the world. Sophia's heart pounds. Fight or flight instinct screaming at her to run. But her body won't move. Can't move. She's frozen as the man approaches her table. "Hello, Sophia," he says. His voice is exactly as it sounds in her dreams. Smooth, cultured, with an accent she can't quite place. "I've been waiting for you to stop fighting the bond. To finally come to me." "Who are you?" Sophia manages. "How do you know my name?" "My name is Adrian Castellane. And I know everything about you, Sophia. Every thought, every feeling, every dream. Just as you know me, whether you want to admit it or not." Sophia's hand goes to the scar on her neck. You're the one who attacked me. Who bit me. I didn't attack you. I marked you. There's a difference. What the hell does that mean? Adrian sits down across from her without invitation. It means that 3 months ago, I made a decision that changed both our lives. I bit you, Sophia. Not to feed. Not to turn you. But to create a bond. A permanent, unbreakable connection between us. You're mine now. And I'm yours. Forever. The words don't make sense. Can't make sense. That's insane. You're insane. I'm calling the police. And tell them what? That a man you've been dreaming about for 3 months showed up at your coffee shop? That you feel connected to a stranger in ways you can't explain? They'll think you need a psychiatric evaluation, not police protection. Sophia hates that he's right. Hates that she's been avoiding seeking help because she knew how crazy it would sound. "What did you do to me?" "I created a mate bond. It's a vampire ability. Rare, powerful, irreversible. When a vampire bites someone with the specific intention of creating a bond, that person becomes permanently connected to them. Emotionally, mentally, eventually physically if the bond is consummated. Vampires aren't real." Adrian smiles, and his teeth are too sharp. His eyes flash something inhuman. "We both know that's not true anymore, Sophia. You felt me for 3 months. Felt my emotions bleeding into yours. Felt the pull toward me growing stronger every day. You know what I am. You've just been too afraid to admit it." Sophia wants to deny it. Wants to insist this is all delusion or nightmare. But she can feel it, the connection Adrian is describing. Can feel his presence in her mind, his emotions tangling with hers. Can feel the truth of his words even as her rational brain rebels against them. "Why me?" she whispers. "Why would you do this to me?" "Because I've been alive for 243 years, and in all that time, I've never met anyone like you. Never wanted anyone the way I want you. I saw you 6 months ago at a bookstore. Watched you debate with a stranger about whether Rochester deserved Jane's forgiveness. Watched you be passionate and brilliant and so beautifully alive. And I knew I had to have you. So I made sure I would. By taking away my choice, Sophia says, anger cutting through her fear. By forcing a connection I never wanted. I gave us destiny. A bond that transcends time and mortality. Most humans would consider that a gift. I'm not most humans. And I don't consider having my free will violated a gift. Sophia stands, grabbing her papers. Stay away from me. I don't care what bond you think you created. I want nothing to do with you. She walks toward the exit, but Adrian's voice stops her. You can fight it all you want, Sophia. But the bond will only grow stronger. The dreams will become more vivid. The pull will become impossible to resist. Eventually, you'll come to me willingly. They always do. Sophia doesn't respond. Just leaves the coffee shop and runs. 2 weeks later. Sophia is losing her mind. The bond, she can't deny it's real anymore, has intensified to the point where she can barely function. She feels Adrian's emotions constantly. Knows when he's happy, angry, frustrated, aroused. Has started experiencing his memories like they're her own. Dreams of places she's never been, events that happened decades before she was born. And worst of all, she wants him. Desires him with an intensity that terrifies her. It's not her feelings, she knows that intellectually. But emotionally, physically, she craves Adrian's presence. Aches when he's not near. Feels incomplete without him. It's violation on the deepest level. Her own mind and body betraying her, rewired by a vampire she never asked to meet. Sophia has researched everything she can find about vampires. Most of it is folklore, but buried in obscure occult texts and internet forums, she's found references to mate bonds. They're described as unbreakable, eternal, designed to bind vampires to their chosen partners permanently. Every source says the same thing: there's no cure. No way to break the bond once it's formed. The only options are acceptance or madness. Sophia refuses to accept either option. She's in a university library, reading through a book on vampire mythology, when a woman sits down across from her. Elderly, elegant, with silver hair and eyes that seem to see too much. You're wasting your time with that book, the woman says. It won't tell you what you need to know. Sophia looks up, startled. Excuse me. You're researching mate bonds. Trying to find a way to break one. I can help. How do you know? Because I've seen it before. Young women marked by vampires without consent. Desperate for freedom from a connection they never wanted. The woman extends a hand. My name is Catherine Ashford. I'm a witch. And I know how to break vampire mate bonds. Sophia should be skeptical. Should walk away from this stranger making impossible claims. But she's desperate enough to listen. How? It's complicated. Dangerous. But possible. The mate bond is powerful, but it's not truly unbreakable. It's maintained by constant psychic connection between vampire and marked human. If we can sever that connection, interrupt the flow of energy between you, the bond will weaken and eventually dissolve. Why are you helping me? Catherine's expression darkens. Because I know Adrian Castellane. Know what he is. He's been creating forced mate bonds for decades. Taking women who catch his interest and binding them to him without consent. Most of them eventually give in. The bond makes resistance painful, acceptance seductive. But a few fight. Try to escape. And those who do, they need help. You've helped other women? 3. Over the years. Successfully broke their bonds, helped them disappear where Adrian couldn't find them. I can do the same for you. But you need to decide quickly. The longer the bond exists, the harder it becomes to break. After 6 months, it's nearly impossible. You have maybe 3 more months before you're bound to him forever. Sophia's hand goes to the scar on her neck. 3 more months until this becomes permanent. Until she loses herself completely to a connection she never chose. What do I need to do? Catherine pulls out a card. Come to this address tomorrow night. Bring something of Adrian's if you can get it. Hair, blood, anything with his essence. I'll prepare the ritual. But Sophia, understand, this won't be easy. Breaking a mate bond feels like tearing out part of your soul. It will hurt. And Adrian will feel it happening. He'll try to stop us. I don't care. I want this thing out of me. Then we'll proceed. But be warned, Adrian won't let you go easily. He never does. After Catherine leaves, Sophia sits with this information. A witch offering to break an impossible bond. It sounds like fantasy, like desperation making her vulnerable to scams. But what's her alternative? Accept the bond? Let herself be consumed by feelings that aren't hers? Become property of a vampire who stole her choice? No. She'll take the risk. Sophia feels Adrian's attention spike in her mind. He knows something is happening. Knows she's planning something. The bond works both ways. He can sense her emotions just as she senses his. A text arrives on her phone from an unknown number. Don't do anything foolish, Sophia. The bond is a gift, not a curse. Accept it and I'll give you everything you could possibly want. It's Adrian. Of course it is. The bond probably tells him when she's thinking about him, gives him access to her location, her feelings, her plans. Sophia deletes the text and blocks the number. Then she starts planning. If she's going to break this bond, she'll need to be smart. Adrian is ancient, powerful, probably has resources she can't imagine. But he's also arrogant. He thinks the bond makes her his. Thinks she'll eventually give in like apparently all the others did. He's wrong. Tomorrow night. Catherine's address leads to an old Victorian house on the outskirts of Seattle. Sophia approaches cautiously, every instinct screaming that this could be a trap. But what choice does she have? Catherine greets her at the door. You came. Good. Did you bring something of Adrian's? Sophia holds up a small vial. Hair. I took it from his coat the one time he cornered me at my apartment last week. Perfect. Come in. We'll need to begin immediately. Inside, the house is exactly what Sophia expected from a witch. Herbs hanging from the ceiling, crystals on every surface, symbols carved into wooden furniture. Catherine leads her to a room set up like a ritual space. A circle drawn in salt, candles at cardinal points, a bowl of what looks like blood in the center. That's not human blood, is it? Sophia asks. Animal. Cow, specifically. Blood is a conduit for vampire magic. We'll use it to trace the bond back to its source and sever the connection. Catherine gestures to the circle. Step inside. Remove anything silver or iron. Metals interfere with the working. Sophia complies, taking off her jewelry and watch. She steps into the salt circle, and immediately feels something shift. The constant awareness of Adrian in her mind dims slightly. The circle blocks external psychic influence, Catherine explains. It will give us privacy for the ritual. But it won't hold forever. Adrian will sense what we're doing and try to stop us. We have maybe an hour before he can break through the wards. Then let's hurry. Catherine begins the ritual. She adds Adrian's hair to the blood, chanting in a language Sophia doesn't recognize. The air in the room grows heavy, charged with energy that makes Sophia's skin prickle. In her mind, she feels Adrian's alarm. Feels his rage building. The bond, which had dimmed inside the circle, suddenly flares with painful intensity. He knows, Sophia gasps. He knows what we're doing. Focus, Catherine commands. Don't let him distract you. I need you to visualize the bond. See it as a physical thing connecting you to Adrian. Can you see it? Sophia closes her eyes. In her mind's eye, she can see it, a silver thread connecting her heart to something distant. To Adrian. The thread pulses with energy, and following it, she can sense him. Can feel his location, his emotions, his desperate attempt to reach her. I see it, she says. Good. Now I need you to imagine cutting it. Severing the thread. It will hurt, but you have to do it. The bond is maintained by your acceptance as much as his claim. You have to reject it completely. Sophia reaches for the thread in her mind. The moment she touches it, pain explodes through her chest. It feels like grabbing a live wire, like touching fire, like something fundamental being ripped away. And she can hear Adrian screaming in her mind, begging her to stop, promising her anything if she'll just leave the bond intact. "Please, Sophia," his voice echoes through her consciousness. "Don't do this. The bond is precious, rare. Most vampires spend centuries searching for their mate. I chose you because you're special, because we're meant to be together." "You didn't choose," Sophia grits out, still trying to cut the thread. "You took. You forced. That's not love. That's possession. I can make you happy, can give you immortality, power, pleasure beyond anything you've experienced. Just accept the bond. Let me in completely." "Never." Sophia pulls at the silver thread with everything she has. The pain is unbearable. Feels like her soul is being torn in half. But she doesn't stop. Can't stop. This bond is a violation, and she will not live with it. The thread begins to fray. Catherine's chanting intensifies. The blood in the bowl begins to boil. The candles flare, flames turning from orange to blue. And then, with a sound like breaking glass, the bond shatters. Sophia screams, falls to her knees. The pain is indescribable, worse than anything she's ever experienced. Worse than childbirth, broken bones, heartbreak. This is spiritual agony, the severing of a connection that had been woven into her very essence. But when it fades, when she can breathe again, the silence in her mind is deafening. Adrian is gone. Completely gone. No emotions bleeding into hers. No constant awareness of his presence. No dreams, no pull, no connection. She's free. "It's done," Catherine says, looking exhausted. "The bond is broken. You're no longer connected to Adrian Castellane." Sophia laughs, the sound verging on hysteria. "It worked. Oh my God, it actually worked." "For now," Catherine says grimly. "But Sophia, understand, Adrian will not accept this. Breaking a mate bond is the ultimate rejection for a vampire. He'll come for you. Try to mark you again. And if he does, the bond will reform stronger than before. So what do I do? Run. Disappear. I have contacts who can help you establish a new identity, relocate somewhere he can't find you. You'll have to leave your life behind. Your job, your friends, your family. But it's the only way to stay free." Sophia thinks about her students, her apartment, her sister who lives across town, everything she'd be giving up. But she thinks about the alternative, being bound forever to a vampire who sees her as property, losing herself piece by piece to feelings that aren't hers, becoming whatever Adrian wants her to be. "Tell me how to disappear," Sophia says. Before Catherine can respond, the front door explodes inward. Not opens. Explodes. Torn off its hinges by inhuman strength. Adrian stands in the doorway, and he looks nothing like the charming vampire who approached her at the coffee shop. He looks feral. Enraged. Dangerous. "You broke my bond," he says, his voice deadly quiet. "You severed our connection. Do you have any idea what you've done?" "I freed myself," Sophia replies, standing despite her exhaustion. "From a connection I never wanted. From you. That bond was sacred, permanent, and you destroyed it. You destroyed my autonomy first. You took away my choice, my free will, my right to decide who I love. I just took it back." Adrian moves with vampire speed, suddenly in front of her, hand around her throat. Not squeezing, just holding. A threat and a promise. "I can mark you again. Right now. Create a new bond even stronger than the first. Then I'll break it again," Sophia says, meeting his eyes without flinching. "And I'll keep breaking it, however many times it takes. I will never submit to you." Something shifts in Adrian's expression. The rage is still there, but there's something else too. Confusion. Maybe even hurt. Why? He asks. Why resist so hard? The bond would have made you happy. Made us both happy. We could have been perfect together. Because happiness without choice isn't happiness. It's captivity. Sophia pushes his hand away from her throat. He lets her, which might be more terrifying than the violence. You can't force someone to love you, Adrian. You can't take away their free will and expect them to be grateful. That's not how love works. Love. Adrian laughs bitterly. What do you know about love? You're a human. You live for mere decades. I've loved and lost more times than you can imagine. The mate bond is the only thing that lasts. The only thing that can survive centuries. Then maybe you're doing it wrong, Sophia says. Maybe real love doesn't need magic bonds and forced connections. Maybe it just needs two people who choose each other freely. Every day. Without compulsion. Adrian stares at her. For a long moment, neither of them moves. Then, slowly, he steps back. You're either very brave or very foolish, he says finally. Probably both. If I let you go, if I don't mark you again, what will you do? Live my life. Free. Without you controlling me. And if I told you that breaking the bond hurt me as much as it hurt you? That I felt our connection shatter and it was like losing a part of myself? Sophia almost feels sympathy. Almost. Then you know how I felt for 3 months. Having something inside me that shouldn't be there. Feeling someone else's emotions, wants, needs. Not knowing what was mine and what was yours. It was a violation, Adrian. Can't you see that? I see that I made a mistake, Adrian says quietly. I thought the bond would make you understand how perfect we could be together. Instead, I made you hate me. I don't hate you. I hate what you did to me. There's a difference. Adrian is quiet for a long time. Then, if I had asked, if I had approached you honestly, told you what I was, what I wanted, would you have considered giving me a chance? Sophia thinks about it. About the man she saw in her dreams. Intelligent, passionate, lonely in ways that transcended time. Maybe. If you'd respected my autonomy. If you'd let me choose freely. Maybe. But now that's impossible. Because I took away your choice before giving you one. Yes. I am. Adrian struggles with the words. Sorry. I've never apologized to a human before. Never had reason to. But you're right. I violated you. Took something precious without permission. And I am genuinely sorry for that. The apology surprises Sophia more than anything else that's happened tonight. You mean that? I do. I'm 243 years old. I've done terrible things. But I've never felt this, he gestures helplessly. This shame. This realization that I've committed a wrong that can't be undone. So what now? Sophia asks. Now I let you go. Truly let you go. No more marks. No more bonds. No more forcing connection. You're free, Sophia Zhang. Free to live your human life without vampire interference. Just like that. Just like that. Adrian moves toward the door, then pauses. But, Sophia, if you ever change your mind, if you ever decide you want to know me, not through a bond, not through compulsion, but as yourself by choice, I'll be waiting. For however long it takes. Don't hold your breath. Even vampires might die waiting that long. Adrian almost smiles. We'll see. Then he's gone. Vanished into the night with inhuman speed. Sophia sinks onto the floor, adrenaline crash hitting hard. Catherine kneels beside her. That went better than expected, the witch says. Usually they're more violent. He apologized, Sophia says, still processing. A 200-year-old vampire apologized for violating my free will. Maybe there's hope for him yet. Maybe. But it doesn't change what he did. No, it doesn't. But Sophia, he let you go. That's rare. Most vampires would try to mark you again immediately. Would use force if necessary. Adrian chose to respect your decision. That's significant. Sophia touches the scar on her neck. The physical mark remains, but the psychic connection is gone. She's truly free. What happens now? She asks. Now you live, Catherine says. However you want. The bond is broken. Adrian has agreed to leave you alone. You can stay in Seattle, keep your job, see your family. Just be cautious. And if he ever does approach you again, call me immediately. Sophia takes the card Catherine offers. Then she goes home. 6 months later. Sophia's life has returned to normal. She teaches her classes, grades papers, goes on dates with men who are definitively human and definitely don't create psychic bonds without consent. She hasn't seen or heard from Adrian. True to his word, he's left her alone completely. But sometimes, late at night, Sophia finds herself thinking about him. About the loneliness she felt in his emotions during their bond. About the genuine remorse in his voice when he apologized. About the fact that a centuries-old vampire learned to respect human autonomy because she taught him. She doesn't miss the bond. Will never want that violation back. But she finds herself curious about Adrian. About who he is when he's not trying to possess someone. About who he could be if he approached relationships with respect instead of compulsion. One night, on impulse, Sophia goes to the bookstore where Adrian said he first saw her. It's the same place, the same time of evening. She browses the classics section, picks up a copy of Jane Eyre, the book that started all of this. And she waits. Adrian doesn't show. Of course he doesn't. He promised to leave her alone, and unlike his initial violation, he's keeping this promise. Sophia is about to leave when a voice behind her says, "Still debating whether Rochester deserves forgiveness?" She turns. Adrian stands there, looking exactly as he did 6 months ago. Except his eyes are different. Sadder. More careful. I thought about that, Sophia says. About Rochester and Jane. About whether love can survive betrayal and manipulation. About whether someone who's wronged you can be forgiven. And what did you decide? That it depends on whether the person genuinely changes. Whether they learn from their mistakes. Whether they respect boundaries going forward. That seems wise. They stand in silence. Then Sophia says, "You kept your word. You haven't contacted me once in 6 months. I told you I would let you go. I meant it. So why are you here?" I could ask you the same question. This is the bookstore where I first saw you. You came here, at this time, to this section. That's not coincidence. Sophia could lie. Could say she was just browsing. But honesty is important, especially after everything they've been through. I wanted to see if you'd show up. Wanted to. I don't know. Check in. Make sure you're actually learning to respect boundaries instead of just waiting for me to lower my guard. I'm learning, Adrian says. It's difficult. Centuries of behaving one way, of seeing humans as either food or possessions, that doesn't disappear overnight. But I'm trying. I haven't marked anyone since you. Haven't even considered it. I'm trying to understand what you taught me, that real connection can't be forced. That's good. That's growth. Is it enough? The question hangs between them. Sophia understands what he's really asking. Is he forgiven? Can there ever be anything between them? Is it possible for a relationship to develop from such a terrible beginning? I don't know, Sophia admits. What you did was unforgivable. But you're trying to be better. That has to count for something. Can I? Adrian hesitates. Can I buy you coffee? Just coffee. No expectations. No pressure. Just two people having a conversation. Sophia should say no. Should walk away and never look back. This is a vampire who violated her in the deepest way possible. who forced a connection that took magic and pain to break. But he also learned, apologized, changed. And Sophia finds herself curious about who Adrian Castellane could be when he's not trying to possess someone. "Coffee," she says finally. "But I pay for my own. And if you even think about trying any vampire compulsion or bonding magic, I have Catherine on speed dial." Adrian smiles, genuine and relieved. No magic. No compulsion. Just coffee and conversation. I promise. They walk to the same coffee shop where Adrian first approached her 6 months ago. The irony isn't lost on either of them. Over coffee, which Adrian actually drinks this time, though he mentions it tastes like ash to vampire senses, they talk. Really talk. About books, about life, about what it means to live for centuries versus decades. About loneliness and connection and the difference between love and possession. "I have a question," Sophia says. "All those other women you marked, did any of them ever break the bond before me?" "No," Adrian admits. "Most accepted it eventually. A few Catherine helped escape before I could fully establish the connection. But you're the only one who fully bonded then successfully broke it. The only one who fought that hard for freedom. Why did you mark them? If they all left or suffered, why keep doing it?" "Because I was lonely," Adrian says simply. "And I didn't know any other way to create lasting connection. When you're immortal, human relationships are temporary. They age, you don't. They die, you continue. The mate bond was the only thing that could bridge that gap. Or so I thought. And now I understand that forced connection isn't connection at all. That what I was creating wasn't love, it was captivity. And the only thing lonelier than being alone is being with someone who's there because magic compels them, not because they choose you." They talk until the coffee shop closes. Then they stand outside on the sidewalk, neither quite ready to say goodbye. "Can I see you again?" Adrian asks. Same terms. Coffee. Conversation. No pressure. Sophia thinks about it. About the risk. About the impossibility of a relationship with someone who once violated her so deeply. About whether people, even vampire people, can truly change. "Same time next week," she says finally. "But Adrian, understand, this isn't forgiveness. This isn't me saying what you did is okay. This is just me deciding to give you a chance to prove you've changed. That you can respect boundaries and build connection without compulsion. I understand. And thank you. For the chance. For teaching me what I should have learned centuries ago." Sophia walks home, mind swirling with conflicting emotions. She knows this could be a mistake. Knows she should probably never see Adrian again. Knows Catherine would tell her she's crazy for even considering a relationship with the vampire who marked her. But she also knows something else. People change. Sometimes. If they work at it. If they genuinely want to be better. And maybe, just maybe, Adrian Castellane is one of those people. Time will tell. For now, Sophia has her freedom. Her autonomy. Her right to choose. And that's what matters most. The scar on her neck remains. A reminder of what was taken. But also a reminder of what she fought for and won. She's not Adrian's mate. Not his property. Not his destiny. She's just Sophia Zhang. Free. Whole. And finally herself again. And if she chooses, someday, to let Adrian into her life, it will be because she decided. Not because magic compelled her. Not because a bond forced her. But because she freely, consciously chose it. That's the difference between possession and love. That's the difference between cage and choice. And Sophia will never forget it.